Hey guys, welcome to another video. I know I've been a little bit out of pocket. A lot of stuff's going on, as you guys are aware. This is what this video is going to be about, is dealing with some of the shenanigans that probably you may either be dealing with or in the process of potentially dealing with because of this current worldwide pandemic. This is going to be very complicated with kids and stuff in custody because it's just a mess. For instance, my situation, which is probably very, very similar to yours. And let me just, before I jump into this, I am not feeling well. I don't think I have it. I get sinus infections a lot, so I think it's that, and I tried to cut my finger off this last weekend on a camping trip. Luckily, it's okay, but I'm on a lot of antibiotics and stuff, which is hopefully helpful. I digress. So, as my daughter's spring break was going to be in a few weeks, like most of us, because of the current situation. The schools have closed. They put everybody, at least where I'm at, put everybody on spring break early, or extended it, and then are going to start doing virtual school. So obviously that complicates things, right? I mean, if you take the court order says that, I get my kids. Well, now it's only one kid, but the spring break for this year is mine. So you could take that to mean that, start of spring break was, what is today? What time is it? Technically started, would have been into school Tuesday. And then it's running for, 3 or 4 weeks. Now, some people who are like in a narcissistic person in that situation could potentially say, well, hey, it's spring break. It says spring break. The court order says I get them for spring break, and you don't get to see them, and I get them for the month or whatever, And I'm not pushing that. And also with me not being well, I'm actually letting the ex hold on to the kids a little bit longer until I figure out what's really going on with me. But what I wanted to talk about is that, and how a toxic person will always continue to try to find a way to, poke you right in the eye. That was a pretty weak boop. Boop. How's that? Is that a little bit better? So I wanted to go over this email that I received the other day. And I hadn't sent her anything, the ex, yet. And it was, basically, hey, Duane. And this is what she's saying. It says, I know that you prefer to not talk, but I think we should discuss the spring break and everything. Did you have an idea of what you wanted to do? Blank is talking like they want to stay here this week. I think the three of us should make a plan. Anyways, yada, yada, yada. My thing on this is if you look at that first sentence, I know that you prefer not to talk, but I think we should discuss things. It's really easy, or could be really easy, to get really angry about that. And I thought about this, and I'm not feeling well. Tired, worn out, finger hurts. I just bunked it again on my other finger, which, ow. Anyways, so, there was a brief moment where I was like, hey, I was like thinking, and I didn't sit down and even type it, but I was like, that's bull. That's not true. That's not like I don't prefer to talk. I say we should talk by email, but it's not the way she wants to do it. So, it goes into this whole thing where they have their own version of reality. They see things the way they want to see them. And like I say, who cares what they think, right? Now, I'll tell you, in the past, I would have written a whole paragraph about why her comment that I know you prefer not to talk, And I think we should discuss it like good people. Would have irritated the crap out of me. And I would have said, I would have laundry listed it all out. Why that comment, that first line, that entry line into this whole email is BS. And I didn't. I ignored it. I finally sent her an email saying, "Hey, I think the kid. You know what? Let me just pull it up. I'll pull it up so I can read it, so I can make sure that I'm not trying to make myself look better." And I said, "Sorry, I'm doing this. Whoops, might help if I actually grab the right one." And I said, "Hi, X." I won't inflect on it because that way, I'm not sure. All I said is, "Hi, name. If you can do it, I think the kid should stay with you for a couple of days. I feel like I'm sick and probably would be best to wait and see. Daughter said she had some things she was planning to do this weekend with you anyway, and I know we didn't think spring break was going to start for a few weeks. Although I would not recommend going anywhere or meeting with anyone. The trip I had planned with her is obviously a no-go because she'll be back at school at that time, or at least virtual school." And then I wrote Duane. And she did write back, "No problem. I'll keep them. Take care of yourself. If you need anything, let me know." Anyways. Okay, so here's my point. This, in my mind, is a prime example of how it would be really easy to take the bait, respond to the BS, point it out, and to get irritated because, how dare you try to make, meaning the ex, how dare you try to paint this picture that you are the glorious, the second coming, and we are just pieces of garbage. Honestly, it doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter what they say. It's irrelevant. You got to ignore it because it doesn't accomplish anything. And the reality, the reality is they are looking for conflict. And to tie this back into this current scenario, you take a person who is like that anyways, and then you add on the stress of this current situation, the craziness with the hoarding of stuff, not being able to get things, being unsure of, what's going to happen next, your pay, are you going to be able to buy toilet paper, whatever the case may be. And it keeps tensions really high. I mean, I honestly, I'm surprised that I am dealing with all of this stuff as well as I am. I mean, like I said, I freaking Saturday, tried to cut my damn finger off. I'm okay. It just cut the tip. I went to the doctor, got a tetanus shot. They wanted to do some stuff, and I'm like, yeah, let's try something different. So lots of antibiotics, so I mean, I should be good on that. It hurts because I keep banging the damn thing. Hard to type with, with everything going on with work. I've been having to deal with that too. Luckily, I'm doing it from here. Anyways, so be prepared for that and don't allow your ex to push your buttons. They're going to try. That's their default position. They're going to. They're just going to do it. I mean, and you got to look at. You got to look at what's best to keep you as grounded and as calm as possible, and what's best for your kids. So be very cautious of that. Be aware of it. If they send you something, or if they're, and it could be the opposite. I mean, it could be, that they have the kids and it's like, well, we're sheltering in place and I know it's your visitation, but no, right? Just don't, don't let it tear you apart. These are extraordinary times that we're dealing with. And I know that, I know it's a lot more complicated than what I'm just saying, right? Because if you haven't seen your kids, or maybe you have been dealing with it and you just now starting to get a little bit of visitation, and now you're like, oh crap, everything's shutting down. People are being directed to shelter in place. You can be feeling like you're never going to get to see your kids. This is a significant moment in time. It's very stressful, but just be careful of it and don't take the bait. To be perfectly honest, I wouldn't necessarily be worried about being used against you right now, because I think there's so much stuff going on that I don't necessarily know if a lot of people are going to be focusing a lot of time on that. Trying to even get into court right now would probably be very complicated. But, man, sorry. It's tiring. Anyways, so I hope that is helpful and gives you something else to think about this, and maybe prepare yourself. And potentially, to be perfectly honest, this video might be late to put this message out there, to try to help in that regard. And, I think we all need to just take a deep breath, try to realize it's hard, because, a toxic person isn't going to necessarily be good. I talked to one friend of mine who has a similar situation, and because he has the flexibility to take care of the kids, his toxic ex is actually being really, really nice finally. So it's one of those things where, the best is coming out because they need something. And which is very common with these type of people. It's typically they don't feel that they need anything from us. So there's no reason to be nice. There's no reason to play a game or anything like that, because they're getting, they don't need it. So trying to even be civil is not worth it, because it has no bearing. It's like there's nothing in it for them. So anyways, hopefully that thought was cogent, because I feel like I'm losing it. So on that, I am going to wrap this up, because I am running out of energy super, super quick. I haven't talked this much all day today. Anyways, I hope that was useful. If you know somebody who's going through this, that you think this could be helpful for them, share it with them. I'm not sure what my schedule is going to be like. I would love to do some live streams and stuff, but I am just feeling like crap. So I don't know on that. I didn't even post a video last week, but I was just, there's a lot of stuff going on, as you guys can imagine. Anyways, on that, take care of yourself. Don't panic on all this stuff that's going on, just going on with the regulars. Even if your ex is dealing with something, just try to keep yourself as calm and stable as possible. If you do have an interaction with your kids, try to convey that with them as well. This is serious. This is this is an event that will be in the history books. But we can handle it in a positive way, or we can handle it in a negative way. On that, I'll chat with you on the next video. Take care.